Going over to the political part podcast, Democrat Representative Ayanna Pressley saying that USA owes African American reparations now. Even though last time I checked, Democrats were in power, I mean, a couple, literally, what was it, 100 days, 20 days prior to this? And yet they weren't demanding any reparations when Biden was in charge. Didn't see them moving the ball. So this is a cliche talking point that's been around for 30 years, but now the Republicans are in power, they're going to bring up the talking point yet again. And I'm so sorry, I should put a disclaimer on the screen in terms of a visual disclaimer, because not everyone, but some might argue that Miss Pressley is viscerally, visually disgusting in comparison to me. Some might argue it's a coin flip, and some might say she's more attractive than me. It's a whole variety, though I'm sorry, should have put a visual disclaimer. Oh, wait a minute. Is that Charles Barkley? No, it's Miss Pressley. Now, she says, and I am like kidding, that's one of the comments down there, but yeah, it's only about 18 seconds long. It might feel like an eternity. And to their credit, they did spend some, well, I was about to say they spent some, probably Soros or some PAC spent money on actual high quality. This is above Kinko's in terms of the quality of these little posters that they're holding up. I want to say they're about maybe 2 feet by 9-10 inches. I mean, I don't know if that's the high quality cardstock, but that's certainly laminate. They didn't just go to the FedEx, or maybe they did. They put some thought in this. They didn't just go to the Hobby Lobby and get some poster boards. Without too much further ado, and again, this might hurt your ear balls.
And discrimination against black people. We are in a moment of anti-blackness on steroids, and we refuse to be silent. We will not back down in our pursuit of racial justice. The antidote to anti-blackness is to be pro-black, and we will do it unapologetically. The United States government owes us a debt, and we need reparations now.
Jeez, people thought I speak fast. She's speaking fast than Ben Shapiro. Let's slow it down a little bit. And granted, fun fact not about public speaking, but a fun fact about, what is this? Oh yeah, playback speed. Anytime you're doing a speech in front of people, on average, you will speak faster than you natively do. I was going to say, one of the best organizations I've ever been a part of was Toastmasters, which, not sponsored to the show for sure. But yeah, if you want to increase your speaking skills, they have a lot of chapters throughout the United States. And that's something you quickly learn when you're starting to kind of get into speech writing and improving your speaking skills is, like, when you're in front of a group of people on camera, you'll speak a lot faster than you normally do, which kind of is a multiplier for me because I even normally off camera I speak pretty darn fast. So maybe at half speech you'll sound more coherent.
And discrimination against black people. We are in a moment of anti-blackness on steroids, and we refuse to be silent. We will not back down in our pursuit of racial justice. The antidote to anti-blackness is to be pro-black, and we will do it unapologetically. The United States government owes us a debt, and we need reparations now.
Well, morality aside, well, it's also immoral. You shouldn't have to pay for something you didn't cause. Where's that money come from again? Friendly reminder, because of the ineptitudes and or corruption of Democrats and Republicans, we're over $36 trillion in debt. In fact, let's bring up that sad point. Let's see, U.S. debt clock. And fortunately, Trump does not have, Trump and Republicans, they should. No one has the balls to actually say we need to cut things like all the handouts we give, because it's not sustainable, obviously. And yet, no one actually wants to bring that point up because they lose votes. The U.S. is $36.857 trillion in debt. Doge is saving us money, but again, they've saved us in about 438 million, which is a lot of money in and of itself, but not in comparison to, again, $36.8 trillion, and it goes up literally every single second of the day, correlating to a debt per citizen, or debt per taxpayer of $323,050, which, yeah, that is unfathomably bad. And yeah, and again, this is a cliche that they do every time Republicans in office. They use this to raise campaign funds. I think it's immoral and also inauthentic for her to do this because, again, they know it's not going to happen. It's wildly unpopular on a national level when you poll most Americans. Granted, they're changing the demographics of the United States and importing more and more voters and people, so that might change and skew the results more and more. But yeah, why should people who never owned slaves have to pay back to people who were never slaves? I mean, most hilarious is when California introduced a bill for reparations, which, again, California never had slavery. And yet they're saying, oh yeah, we should have reparations in California. Though it is California, that isn't the most insane thing they've thought of. It's California. Now, this pre-file got 3.4 million views and 7.8 thousand likes. One of the first comments comes to us thanks to Based Electrician, says, quote, I'm not giving free money to Charles Barkley, and got 110 likes, and there's a screenshot of her looking hilarious. You also have The Rabbit Hole saying, quote, oh, a quote by Thomas Sowell, A+. He is, as youth might say, based AF. But I believe that means based as freedom. But nevertheless, The Rabbit Hole says, quote, if you were to give reparations to everyone whose ancestors had been slaves, I suspect you would have to give reparations to more than half of the entire population of the globe. Slavery was not confined to one set of races, unquote. As again from Thomas Sowell. Also, I mean, shouldn't the people who sold the people into slavery have some culpability? I mean, shouldn't they be taxed or have their money stolen from them? Is she suggesting that we go to Africa, go to those tribes and say, hey, you sold some of your competing tribes into slavery hundreds of years ago. You should pay us money. Of course, they're not talking about that. They just want to steal money from taxpayers. Gunther Eagleman says, quote, bald-headed bitch isn't getting a single penny, getting 4.4 thousand likes. X Van Fleet, famous individual who escaped communism in China, he says, quote, BLM must pay more than $1 billion for damages the riots they caused. Actually, it's more than that. The BLM riots, or George Floyd riots, cost about $2 billion in property damage, and I believe 36 people died. But they don't talk about that on CNN. Yeah, Clown World saying, quote, now that Trump is back, suddenly they remember reparations. Where was all this energy when Biden was in charge? You had 4 years, sit down opportunist, getting 4,000 likes. Good question. Jay says, just wait until all of us non-black identify as black and get reparations. Getting 51 likes. Which is a good point, because again, her party is a party of, I mean, they can't define what a woman is. So, I mean, or what a race is. So, yeah, by their logic, you can do that. Paul Zupa says, what a joke of a person, getting 212 likes. Democrat Media TM says, quote, now this is a perfect meme to describe all Democrats above. It's Bob Ross, the painter. I really don't know his accent too much, but I'll attempt to give it a go. He says, well, just over there, we're going to add a little bit, right over here by those trees. We'll just add a bitter little liberal bitch over there, right there. Maybe that's my second talent. Maybe I'll try painting. I'm kidding. I can only do stick figures. That got 197 likes. They have a picture from Democrat Media TM, says, quote, no one, and I mean no one has done more harm to America than Democrats. Getting 249 likes. Oh, this got 1.2 thousand likes. It's credited to the Mastiff Mafia. He actually reposted a picture or a post from Blake Sheldon saying, quote, Abraham Lincoln paid reparations through the Freedmen's Bureau in 1865. It gave all free black men 40 acres and a mule, plus food, clothing, and farm tools over a 7-year period until 1872, and then ended by Democrats. Look it up. Congressional Democrats are ignorant of the piece of history now you know, getting 1.2 thousand likes. Bertha Momus also said, true story. It's a picture of Al Sharpton and Oprah. Says racism. Some people make a lot of money on it. Oh, yes, they do. Getting 175 likes. I was going to say, if it wasn't for fake racism, Al Sharpton would have no job at all. I mean, he would be, geez Louise, he would just sit around and do nothing all day. Going down more and more. Laura says, reparations have already been paid by the 360,000 soldiers who died fighting to end slavery, getting 711 likes. Went up like a stock. Sunny Days says, the squad getting ready to go out and be oppressed. Yeah, 172 likes, and all the gals looking as mentally vacuous as they usually do. Throwing down more and more. Crooked Joe says, about that, there's a picture of Clint Eastwood. He says, listen, I was going to say, I don't think I could dare do the great accent of Clint Eastwood. Are you feeling lucky, punk? Do ya? Let's just listen up, Snowflake, and let this sink in. I never owned any slaves, and you never picked any cotton. Here ends this lesson. I don't know you, shit. Getting 196 likes, and maybe losing me 5 subscribers because that accent attempt was so bad. Now, going back to the comments. Tanya says, you get nothing. And there's a picture of a fuel level for a car. It says white guilt. It says empty. And it says, none of my ancestors owned slaves, nor did 95% of the white Americans during the years of slavery. White Republicans died in the Civil War to free slaves. White Republicans voted unanimously to free the slaves and later voted to give them citizenship and voting rights. Democrats fought against all 3 of these amendments, getting 53 likes. Laura says, you are owed nothing, getting 137 likes. Canadian Patriot, they exist. This person is a nationalist Christian old stock Canadian. Climate change is a fraud. Canadian first. Mass deportations. Stop invasion. Canada first. They exist. I will give this gentleman a follow. I feel so bad for Canadians because, again, there are some good people in Canada. Don't get me wrong. I mean, they gave us Pamela Anderson and what else? I guess Ryan Reynolds, Justin Bieber. So maybe they actually owe us money. But in all seriousness, there are some freedom-loving folks in Canada. There's just so many tyrants and communists that overpopulate them when it comes to the voting patterns. But yeah, imagine being born in Canada with freedom in America right there next door, where you actually have freedom of speech, freedom to defend yourself and your family, the Second Amendment, freedom to write and assemble, peacefully protest. And Canada's like, no, we don't have any guaranteed freedoms. But I forget when that douchebag Justin Trudeau, that little bastard of Castro, said you have no right to defend yourself with a firearm, as they are stealing firearms away and disarming citizens. Yeah, as if you need yet another reason not to live in Canada. Now, this Canadian patriot has a picture of it's a meme with an African American and a white gentleman. It says, quote, "So I ran the numbers on reparations. After subtracting for crime, you actually owe the white people $4.7 trillion, getting 3.5 thousand likes." Whoa. I think that's the most liked comments. Like Engelman says, "Screw your racist reparations," getting 1.4 thousand likes. A lot of people, there's a couple of memes of her with the clown makeup on, getting 333 likes, thanks to Fist Punch Skull. Let's see. Maharashi says, quote, "The American taxpayer doesn't owe a penny in reparations. Not a single living American has ever owned a slave. Plus, living in America is the reparation is infinitely better than being in Africa." End of story. Getting 1.5 thousand likes. That's a good point. I don't forget, it was 2 or 3 weeks ago, I had a clip about a gal who actually left America, or African-American gal who left the United States because she thought it was so racist and evil. She went back to Africa, and she made a video just saying how crappy it was because of the lack of infrastructure, people trying to steal from her, and people assuming she was rich because she was American, so they'd be begging from her all the time. And she was saying, oh yeah, she wants to come back here. Yeah. I think it was Ted Nugent who said it best. He said, "The whole world sucks, but the U.S. sucks the least." So obviously there's no perfect country, but I would argue we are the most perfect. So, but now again, politically speaking, I understand why she's doing this. She's going to raise millions of dollars in campaign funds, donations, and there are mentally vacuous voters who believe her and they think this will become a thing. Personally, I think it would tear our country apart. It would just ignite it would ignite negative emotions between people. Because again, you already steal tax dollars from people who pay to work for a living, and you have people who don't work for a living, and people who don't even live here legally. Now you're going to give even more of our tax dollars away for people that were not directly impacted by slavery. So again, I think this would be detrimental to the country. I think it would divide us even further. And in terms of a mass acceptance, I don't think this would ever be accepted on a mass level in the United States. So I don't think it would ever be passed, the House or Senate in terms of, a bill or a law. But let me know your thoughts and comments, because as always, it'd be fascinating to hear what you have to say. Thank you, everyone, for taking the time to tune in today. Again, try to get to 5,000 subscribers by the end of the month, so if you can click that button, I greatly appreciate it. Also, give me a thumbs up, thumbs down, or comment. It's a great way to give me some additional feedback, letting me know how I can make the show better and better. And lastly, don't forget to take time to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, tell your enemies, tell anyone and everyone. Just stay safe and fight the good fight.